Okay, this might actually be the worst guitar lesson I've ever seen. They told me to play faster by just thinking about speed. Like, that's not how fingers work. So today I went down the YouTube rabbit hole and also looked at a lot of clips that you amazing people sent me on Patreon to find some of the most interesting guitar lessons on the internet, and trust me, I found some pretty life-changing ones. Nice, so it starts with Kirk Hammett and his warm-up technique. I'm personally a big Kirk Hammett fan. It's the guy that made me pick up a guitar initially, so let's see how he warms up.
My warm-up is the same warm-up. You know, it's just like Joe Satriani taught me in like 1982.
Okay.
So Kirk is talking to Rick Beato right here, so he's giving him a guitar lesson, so to say.
And, you know, it's called, you know, the jazz chord relay is what he calls it.
Okay.
It's like, you know, major chord.
Wait, I don't know the jazz chord relay.
I also don't know the jazz chord relay. This looks pretty interesting. There's already a lot to dissect in those couple of seconds. So from the video, it looks like he's switching between two different shapes. This beautiful sounding one. So just putting one finger at a time on each fret, first fret, second fret, third fret, and fourth fret. Beautiful sound. And then the pattern is moved up and inverted.
Hold on, what's
No
a
one
jazz
does.
chord relay?
This is what I'm showing you. This is, Joe Satriani taught me that when I was like 18 years old.
Okay, so initially it looked a little bit more like he was playing on the top four strings, but with this really cool close-up, could also be a shape like that. It's changing pretty quickly. Ah, this one looks quite interesting. So he is switching between those two shapes, but now if he starts it on the A string, for example, with the pinky, with a bit more of an augmented sound right here.
That is,
And then
that
you
is
can go,
awesome.
Then you can go.
Yes, okay. So this makes more sense immediately, and it's actually kind of a cool warm-up to synchronize both the picking and the fretting hand. Alternate picking. Every single note like this, getting the fingers to be close to the neck. It's a more common exercise, but to call it a jazz chord relay and play it a little bit like... That's something I've personally never seen before. The next one that was sent in is by an absolute guitar legend. I think you will recognize him from the very first notes right here at the start of this lesson. It's of course Yngwie. And it starts as every guitar lesson should start, with some super crazy shredding, of course. So this is definitely not a bad lesson when it comes to technique and just watching him play. Obviously super relaxed picking technique, awesome synchronization, it sounds really great. It's just, where does the lesson start? It says how to play fast right here, so I hope we get some insights, some structured slow breakdowns of the technique to show us exactly how to accomplish that. Nope, still shredding. Harmonic minor, Phrygian dominant and diminished scales. Definitely some really cool sounds that you immediately associate with neoclassical playing. Let's see how he breaks it down. Of course. So I hope you had some time to take it all in, to replicate this right away. Maybe he plays it a little bit slower at one point. Yes. So that was the slow tempo.
I wanted to challenge myself mainly, you know, with trying to play some crazy stuff that...
You definitely succeeded at that, Mr. Malmsteen.
The natural progression for me to do then would be to play, you know, which is, I guess you would call a harmonic minor. like that.
Nice. So, sounds great, looks awesome. When it comes to the educational value though, it's a little bit difficult to pick up on what's happening right here at this tempo. So of course Yngwie is very well known for working within the harmonic minor scale. Really cool sounding scale, which is very similar to the natural minor scale. You just have to change one note. So in the position of A harmonic minor, for example, if you compared it with the natural minor scale, all of these notes stay exactly the same, but the 7th note is raised by a semitone. So instead of playing A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you're playing A, B, C, D, E, F, G sharp. So that's the only note that's different. And that note is exactly what gives you this really cool neoclassic sound that's perfect for shred licks. Alright, pause for a second. After trying these already interesting guitar lessons, I personally realized something. You don't need 10,000 guitar exercises thrown at you at the speed of light. You need 7 that actually work. The 7 most powerful shred exercises that actually transform your technique. The ones that fix sloppy alternate picking, hand synchronization and string skipping and make your playing effortless and super fast. So I went ahead and built it, a brand new 7-day shred guitar blueprint. Every day you get one targeted laser focused technical workout, complete with tabs, guitar profiles, backing tracks and play along videos so that you can practice like a real pro. And get this, you don't even have to buy it. If you join my Patreon Guitar Academy today, where over 20,000 guitar players are active right now, making insane progress every day, you get this entire new course completely for free. That's on top of the 20 plus full courses already inside. Technique, theory, songwriting, improvisation, absolutely everything you need in one place. But because it's launch week, if you sign up with the link down below in the first comment or in the description right away, you're also automatically entered to win one of 5 merch bundles, 2 signed CDs and a personally signed autograph card on top, shipped straight to you free of charge. Look, if you've been spinning your wheels, trying to get faster or cleaner on guitar and haven't joined yet, you are basically paying the price of frustration instead of just $15. Don't be that guy watching another bad guitar lesson video here on YouTube in 6 months, wishing you just joined today. Hit the link below, get instant access to everything, and I'll see you inside the brand new course, the 7-day Shred Guitar Blueprint. So this one's quite legendary. I remember watching this. Oh, it was uploaded 14 years ago. That explains the quality. This gentleman right here is Abbath.
I know a very few like lead things, you know, and when I play that, everybody thinks that wow, he's the ultimate lead guitar player, but that's the only thing I can, you know.
So those were some pretty interesting kind of techniques. For the first one, we actually had kind of a cool sounding scale run. It's a little bit hard to hear with that tone and of course also with that video quality. Might have been something a little bit based around harmonic minor again. Then we had some kind of chaotic tapping in there, which can be a cool effect, of course. Something like this, where you're not exactly following a scale or arpeggio with your hands. It's more of an effect. And then, of course, you got some pinch harmonics as well. But what I loved most about this video is that he's genuinely having so much fun with the instrument. So for me, this is definitely the most wholesome clip of them all. This is a very, very infamous one.
Well, I guess in the beginning I wanted to learn how to improvise. I was always interested in that.
So this is Allan Holdsworth, obvious guitar legend and genius on the instrument, and is talking about something that is a pain point for a lot of guitar players: improvising, navigating the fretboard, visualizing scales and arpeggios. So this should be good.
What I've done is I've figured out what I would say would be 10 really usable scales that you could use for playing over most anything.
Okay, so this is already interesting. I like the approach of finding 10 scales that work really well for you and not just understanding how they sound, but actually also what to use them for. So you have A harmonic minor right here, A flat diminished, for example, also melodic minor, so scales that I use as well, and others that are quite interesting.
What you see here is all the notes of a C major scale all at once, from one end of the guitar to the other. And that's basically how I see scales.
Okay, that also makes sense, visualizing the scale all across the neck, of course, and using C major as a reference point, no accidentals. So this is looking like a pretty comprehensive guide so far.
E minor major 7 scale. This is my symbol for that, which is probably completely meaningless to anybody else but me, but that's okay.
Now we're getting into his own symbols for different scales.
An A minor major 7 and a flat 6.
Okay.
This is my symbol for that, which of course again is completely meaningless to anyone but me.
Okay, so it gets a little bit deeper, step by step.
This scale's a very usable scale because it's very easy to disguise, but at the same time, if you play it in certain other ways, it's too recognizable in sound.
So this scale is really good because you can't really hear its character, but in other scenarios you really hear its character. So this is someone who's an absolute genius and very, very deep into music theory. I also love checking out the comments on videos like this, like, well, thanks for clearing that up, Allan. I now know less about everything, including my own life after watching this. Up next we have the absolute legend, Mr. Dave Mustaine.
I love doing pick scratches. Those are a really unique thing too.
For sure. I mean, it's incredibly satisfying to do a big chord after a pick slide.
Problem is each these picks alive, and I found there's a typical ones going down.
Yes, that's what I just did. Are there any more?
Going up to no changes.
Of course, you can also go into the other direction.
I got this primarily as a kid listening to Kiss when Gene would go at the beginning of every single measure, probably. One other song has some interesting pick scratching, is Bad Omen, and again, playing it upside down. When I go to the second chord here, in that little teeny breathing space, I go, and it's
nice.
really creepy sounding, so if I play it upside down, I'll go,
I think he flipped us off right there. Look at that. Very interesting. So stuff like this is definitely fun to work with accents when it comes to pick slides or weird noises, but I'm sure it gets weirder from here.
and where I was using a wang bar to make
A wang bar? Okay.
it sound like a wolf going, oh, 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 so
Yeah, I have to watch the full sentence again. What's happening here?
Washington's next. There's one part at the end where I was using a wang bar to make it sound like a wolf going, oh, oh, oh. So I try and
Okay, I'm really excited to hear how he makes his guitar sound like a wolf.
make sounds like that. And Skin of My Teeth is another really neat part too, because when the band rebuilds itself with the song in the middle for the tension after the solo, the riff stops and I just go, just a kind of like a man scratching his face, you know.
Okay, so this is how you can get your guitar to sound exactly like a wolf or a man scratching his face, in case you need that for your music. Jokes aside, obviously, legendary guitar player. This clip is just a little bit funny. And at the end, we also have to check out this one.
Hi, Bernd here. Welcome back to my Q&A series, where I take time to answer all your questions concerning technique, theory, gear and many more topics.
So this was the first kind of instructional video that I ever uploaded on YouTube 7 years ago. The reason why it sounds really robotic and weird is because I had to read from a teleprompter, so I couldn't really talk freely at this point. Of course, my accent was also much thicker back then. I also lost a lot of weight.
Small shapes.
Small shapes. But let's check out the actual playing and exercises. What was this all about? It looks like sweep picking.
I recommend to start with a bigger arpeggio. It is hard in the beginning, but the massive advantage is that you don't have to change the direction of your sweep that much when you start learning the technique.
I love that I always try to overcompensate with movements with my eyes or with my head, just to convince you that I'm not reading a script, I'm not reading from a teleprompter. This is all very spontaneous. Okay, so you can see that my picking technique definitely wasn't there yet. I was angling quite crazily at a reverse angle for those sweeps instead of going for a technique that looks like this. After the pull-off, you can clearly see that my pinky finger is wandering away from the fretboard quite a lot, so pay attention to those two details. I also had to use a fret wrap to avoid any kind of unwanted noise when I was recording this. So this is definitely a hard watch for me, but I think this also proves that my exercises actually work, because they also definitely transformed my own playing over those last 7 years. I would really like to help you out with reaching the exact same level on the guitar. All you have to do is click the link down below to become my student for real today. I recommend starting with the brand new 7-day course. It really holds your hand and guides you from one exercise to the next one. And in just 7 days, practicing 15 to 20 minutes a day, you will see a huge transformation when it comes to your guitar technique. So click down below, sign up right away, and also receive one of those merch packages if you're lucky. I'm waiting for you on Patreon. Have an awesome day. Bye bye.